Hello and welcome to the online marketing tutorial video set. In this series, I'm going to cover a variety of very basic necessities that you need to know to get your online marketing up and running. Now, whether you plan on building a blog, a regular website, selling digital products, it really doesn't matter. You're going to need to know some very basics in order to get all of those things up and running as quickly as possible. So in this series of videos and in this course, I'm going to go step by step into the very basics that you need to get up and running. As we progress, you'll start to understand that everything is a building block. We just build on each step by step, and as the process starts to evolve, you'll start to understand that it becomes easier and easier. I remember the first time I tried to go through these steps, it really took me some time to understand every little finite detail about what I was doing. Now, I don't want you to get caught up too much in the technical side of things. Just understand that there is a process and a step-by-step way of doing things, but don't get too caught up as far as having to know everything about every aspect that we're going to cover. For example, knowing about web hosting is one thing. Finding a hosting provider that can answer all your questions and just make things right for you is more important. I personally don't know everything there is to know about web hosting, but I have a really good company that I use that handles everything for me, and I know that I can get good support from them whenever I try to contact them. So that is the most important thing. So as we go through these videos, we're going to cover domains and URLs. I'm going to open these up and we're going to get into a lot of digging real deep into how to find a domain, what some of the tools are that we can use to help find a really good URL or domain, and we'll use those terms interchangeably: domain, URL, and link. And I'll get all into that as soon as we get into the domain video. We're going to talk about what FTP is. You can see that it shows up here, it shows up here, and in here. And FTP is a very valuable part of getting your online business up and running. So we're going to dig into what it is, how it's defined, and some tools that we can use to make this really easy. We're going to talk about web hosting. We're going to talk about a few companies that you can use, and there are hundreds of them. But I'm going to specifically talk about just a couple that I've used in the past and ways of getting started so you can get your web hosting up and running. We're going to talk about name servers and how those all function in this whole scheme of things. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about downloading and installing your FTP programs to get those up and running. And then we'll definitely cover the FTP process so that you can learn how to connect to your FTP, to your server, how to transfer files over. And the most important part is, using FTP to get your files up and running and live on the internet. So by the end of this course, you'll be able to buy a domain, set up your web hosting, transfer files over via your FTP program to your server so that they can be live and on the internet. All right. Thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. I hope you enjoy them. And we're going to go step by step in the following videos to get you up and running. Thanks for watching. In this video, we're going to talk about domain names or URLs. We're going to get a little technical. Don't get too caught up in the technical side of things. I want to make these online marketing tutorial videos really simple and easy for you to follow, just so you have a basic understanding of what we're doing here. My objective for this whole course is to have you up and running really quickly. So let's get into what a domain name is, how it's defined, and let's figure out what URL means, okay? So to define it, a domain name is simply the name of your website. That's it. We always talk to each other and say, hey, what's your website name, or what's your website? Well, the website is a domain name. So when I searched for a website name for my personal blog, I had to search to see if David Cisneros was available. That is my home page for my blog. I had to also search to see if the .com was available, the .net, the .org. I had some choices there, so I chose the .com because it's the most popular. And we'll talk about those in just a second. So let's get into some technical stuff and talk about what does URL stand for. And it simply stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Now that's the geek speak, right? We're not going to get too caught up in what all that means. All we need to know is that you get to choose a domain name for your business, for your website. You have to look to see if they're available, and then you decide where to purchase from. So let's get into some of those kind of things. Let's talk about the most popular types of website extensions, and those are the .coms. That is the most popular. The .net and the .org or .org are also very popular website extensions. Now, they are releasing more and more every single day, but still the .com is the most popular. So if you're looking for a website name, a domain name, a URL, you're going to want to look for something that has the .com extension. Okay, that's just my suggestion. If your heart is set on that particular name and the .net or the .org are available, you can purchase those. It's not going to affect anything, but the .com is the most popular. Now, there are some tools for finding a domain name. We're going to talk about a few of them. Bust a Name is one, DomainsBot, Domain Typer, and Noam.com. Each of these have different functionalities, and they kind of help you put your ideas together, because sometimes it can be a little bit mind-blowing as far as trying to find a domain name for your site. You may know exactly what you want your name to be, but it may not be available, so you may need to find some different options. Let's go ahead and head over to bustaname.com, and we'll start a new session here. Now, Bust a Name's objective is for you to find a good domain name. So let's just say I wanted to look for online marketing tutorials and see if I can find a domain that's available. So I need to add some words here. And what Bust a Name will do, we'll start putting these words together and to see if the domain name is available. Let me add those three words in there. So you can see that tutorialsmarketing.com is available. There's some extras here that you have to click on. Like, for example, a 3-word combination is pretty much what I want. Okay? And I'll get rid of the 2-word combinations because I want these 3 words to be in my domain name. I can choose to have a .com. I can see if the .net is available, the .org. Okay? And then what you start doing is start looking at the variety of domain names that are now available. And if you wanted to buy one, you can go ahead and just save your domains for review, and then you can go ahead and purchase it, and I'll show you where to purchase these later. Okay? So let's get rid of all of these, and let's just say you had a fishing website. So maybe bass fishing supplies. Okay, so we can start looking at the different combinations that are available. I can deselect the .org, the .net, and you can see that there's less options once I start doing that. All right, so this is a good place to start, bustaname.com. Let's go ahead and look at DomainsBot. Now, DomainsBot is another good one. You can type in whichever keywords you want. I'll go ahead and search that out. And then you can see that DomainsBot gives me a whole bunch of different options as well. Now you can see all the different extensions here. And I don't want any of those. I like the .org. Okay. You can add synonyms. So if instead of tutorials, I want training, I can go ahead and add that in. If I want a synonym for online marketing, okay, I can go ahead and do that. But that gives me my options here, so I can find online marketing WordPress tutorials is available.com, online marketing tutorials group, the online marketing tutorials.com. There's a whole bunch of different options here. Okay, suffixes, I can remove these, and it'll start giving me a more narrow search. Okay, but it's a great tool for me to use just to start thinking about my options here. So you can see that some of these have changed. So DomainsBot is a great tool to use. Let's head over to domaintyper.com. This is a cool tool because right away it starts telling me, when I type in my word, it starts telling me real big, taken, taken, taken. Okay, so I can go ahead and look at the online marketing tutorials is available, okay, according to DomainsTyper. So I'll go ahead and check that out later if I wanted bass fishing supplies. You can see the .com is already taken. I can decide whether or not I want to buy one of these. Take me fishing. Taken. All right. So DomainsTyper, another really cool tool, because I like to search for these pretty quick. When I go over to where I purchase my domain name, sometimes when I punch in a domain, it takes a little while for them to get back to me as far as whether or not my domain name is available. So DomainsTyper will help with the speed of that, and then you can see who owns the website. Maybe it's going to be available pretty soon. You can check to see if it's going to expire pretty soon, so you can keep an eye on the website. All right, so a really good tool. That's domaintyper.com. Now let's lastly head over to noam.com. This is a really cool tool because what I found is using this website, it'll also cross-reference whether the popular social networks are also available so that I can brand myself across popular social networks. So let's just say I wanted to start a business and I want my URL or my domain name to be locked in. I want to get a Facebook page. I want to get a Twitter account, and I want to brand myself with Instagram or get a YouTube account, Pinterest, and I want to make sure all of those are available. So if I do that using Noam, I can check it right here to see what is available. You can see with just the term bass fishing, a lot of things are already taken. Blogger, Pinterest is taken. Looks like Facebook is available, so that's a good thing. But I don't want to be limited. So if I use, let's go with online marketing tutorials, and I'll search that out. All right, again, it looks like a lot of things are taken. Let's see, it'll cross-reference social networks. You can look up domains, just like this. Look at common popular domains. And you can see how all of that works. All right, pretty cool. So this is another great tool that you can use to cross-reference across a number of different brands before you select your domain name. All right, now we're going to talk about where you can purchase these domains. I like to go to a place called Namecheap, and I can do a search in Namecheap, and it'll tell me whether or not mine is available. Now it looks like this domain is available. All right, so that is a good thing. As you can see, I have named this product here Online Marketing Tutorial Videos. So pretty good that my domain name is available, onlinemarketingtutorialvideos.com. So that's definitely one that I want to pick up. Now there's also other options like GoDaddy, and these are basically the two that I recommend. Okay, there are other places to buy domain names. I recommend these two only, and preferably Namecheap is the easiest, and it also offers some great options. So you may have a GoDaddy account, you may have heard of it already, and the reason why I even bring it up is just because they have branded themselves to be the most popular, so people are comfortable buying from them. But I strongly suggest that you buy your URLs or your domain names through Namecheap.com. So just wanted to put that in there and let you know that that is exactly where I purchase my domain names. Once I purchase my domain, this will be mine. I will be able to put my website on this domain right here. Okay, so the process is very easy. Let me go ahead and sign in to my Namecheap account. I might have to block out a few things that are in my account, but that's okay. You'll be able to see most of it. So let me go ahead and go to Online Marketing Tutorials, Tutorial Videos. Double check to make sure that's what I'm naming my product here. Online Marketing Tutorial Videos. Yep, that's correct. Okay. So I'm logged into my account. You'll have to make an account with Namecheap in order to purchase anything. So I'll go ahead and add that to my cart. Go ahead and view my cart. Now you can see that when you purchase a domain name, you are getting a free WhoIsGuard. Now that's important when you want to hide who owns the site. Remember earlier I showed you, I believe it was where is it? Right here with domain tools, you can see exactly who owns this particular website. Okay, you can see registrant organization, you can see that it's bought through GoDaddy, and sometimes there's even contact information there, which can be beneficial if you want to ask them if they want to sell the site. But a lot of times I just want to hide all of my information. So a free WhoIsGuard is very valuable, and that comes free with your URLs when you purchase them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and confirm my order. Looks like I'm going to pick this one up for $10.87. All right, I understand. I'll need to confirm my contact details. Okay, let's check out with PayPal. Go ahead and log into my PayPal account so I can purchase this one. Hit continue. And that's it. I am now the owner of onlinemarketingtutorialvideos.com. Okay? And that's pretty much it. In the next videos, we're going to show you how I can get all this all set up. You can see here I got a receipt. I'm ready to go for $10.87. I was able to purchase this URL. It is now mine. I am the owner of it. Now I can start building my website on this URL. So thanks for watching this video, and in the next video we're going to get into more in depth as far as FTP. We'll get some web hosting for this URL and start really building out an online business. All right, thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one. In this video, we're going to talk about FTP. We're going to talk about what it is, and we're going to talk about a couple of options that you can use to actually complete the process of FTP. But first of all, before we get into that, we need to talk about what FTP is and talk about some definitions here. Now, to define FTP, it stands for File Transfer Protocol. The main keywords there are file transfer. File transferring is what's important to get your files that are on your computer and get them over to your server. All right? So we typically think of the definition of being a bridge between your computer and your website that's on the internet. Remember, I purchased a domain name in a previous video. I'm going to have to get files to that domain name, or else it's just going to be blank. So the way I get the files to that domain name, which is going to reside on my server, which I'm going to cover in the next video, the way of getting those files there is through an FTP program. All right? So there's a couple types of FTP software pieces that I like to consider the best. So let's get to FileZilla. Let's open up FileZilla so we can get there and talk about this. Now, FileZilla is a free file transfer protocol solution. Okay, so you can go to FileZilla-project.org, and there's links below this video that will get you right there. You're going to download the FileZilla client right here, and you'll get that installed right away. We'll talk about that in another video, getting all this set up. The process of installing this really isn't that important. I mean, it's pretty basic. You'll just download your file, and then you'll start to install it. You'll follow all the prompts. Now, the setting up of this is a little bit more complex, so we're going to focus some time on that. We're also going to cover Fire FTP. Now, Fire FTP is an add-on for Firefox. Firefox browser is the browser that I use most often. I use Fire FTP because to me it's the easiest way of sending my files from my desktop or my hard drive here on my computer over to my server. It's super simple to use. We'll cover how to set this one up as well. And when we get to that point, you'll see how it all works. Now, you can literally use Fire FTP if you're, let's just say you're a Google browser or a Google Chrome browser user, and you're very comfortable with that. You can use Fire FTP just for this reason. So you can open up your Firefox browser, set it up, use the file transfer protocol, and you're done with it. Okay? It's just something that I like to use, and in this video series, I want to make things the easiest possible, and those are the shortcuts that I've figured out over the years. Okay? As you start to learn how to do all of these steps on your own, you're going to find that there's software programs and tools that you like to use in preference to others. So I just wanted to cover these two that we're going to be getting into in a little bit further detail down the road right here when we talk about downloading and installing your FTP programs. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and leave it at that. And just remember, File Transfer Protocol is a bridge between your computer and your website on the internet. Without that bridge, we can't get those files over to your domain name. So we want to make sure we have those all set up, and we're able to use our FTP a little bit later, because in the next video we're going to talk about web hosting. Once we have our web hosting, then it's time to start sending some files over to set up our business, our website. All right, thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one. In this video, we're going to talk about web hosting. Without web hosting, we really cannot have our websites live on the internet. There are some free solutions for having web hosting, like having your website hosted by a particular brand or some type of online blogging platform. I strongly suggest that if you are building a website business or an online marketing business that you do not do that. You want to have full control over your own hosting, and you want to make sure that you use a company that is very reputable, somebody that can help you when anything happens or any troubleshooting needs to take place. I have a couple that I'm going to recommend, but you feel free to use any company that you like. But in this video, I'm just going to cover some basics, and we're going to get set up with a hosting account. So the first thing we want to do is actually just define what web hosting is. All right, now web hosting is it's a platform that allows individuals and organizations to make their websites accessible to others via the internet. So once you have a web hosting account, then you are able to log into that server, and we call them web servers. We log into that server, and then you can place files on that server. Now, if you're placing files that contain elements of a website, then you are going to be able to have that website live and on the internet. We're going to talk about all that a little bit later. But I just wanted to define it just so you know exactly what it is. In previous videos, we talked about FTP, we talked about domains. Well, we're trying to go step by step here as far as what we need to complete this full circle of building an online business. So a domain name is definitely needed. You're going to need a file transfer protocol to send files. So where are you sending those files? To a web hosting account. And that's where we're at right now. Now there's a variety of different types of hosting. There's shared, there's dedicated, there's cloud hosting, there's reseller hosting. Now, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail as far as what these are and what they do, but just know that when you share a hosting account, you are sharing it with a number of other users. So there's always a discussion as to what is better, a shared account, a dedicated account. Most seasoned online marketers like to use a dedicated account so that they don't have anybody else using that particular hosting account and uploading files and causing any danger of that server crashing and coming down. So the most used for experienced online marketers and business owners is a dedicated server. Now, when you're first starting out, a shared server is okay because we want to have something that's very cost effective. We want to have something that we can get started with right away. Once your website and your business starts making you money, then you can transfer it over easily to a dedicated server. There's also a cloud server, and a cloud server is just another type of server that allows faster upload speeds, and there's a lot of technical issues to a cloud server. Of course, depending on price is going to be your determining factor as to whether or not you want to start with the cloud server. But like I said, I would just start with the shared server. Now, lastly, a reseller account. You can have a reseller cloud account, a reseller. Any one of these can be a reseller account. But I wanted to talk about it briefly because I'm going to show you my reseller account in just a second. But I wanted you to know its purpose. Now, a reseller account means that I can offer hosting to people under my account. So I do offline marketing. In some cases, when I offer if I build a website and I include hosting with the website for 1 year, that is on my reseller account. Now, the business owner's reseller account gets their own cPanel, which is a control panel, and they have full functional control over their own account. But I'm basically, loaning them space off of my account, and I can charge them for that space. Rather than my clients going to a hosting provider and having to buy hosting, I offer it through my reseller account. So I hope that made sense. It's basically just me offering hosting and me being the main seller of the account, although I don't own the actual server that I'm reselling. It can be very profitable as well if you have clients paying you $20 to $30 a month in hosting fees and you're just simply setting them up on a reseller account. Okay, so those are the types of hosting. Let's talk about where to buy hosting. Now, there's a couple places that you can use. You can use Liquid Web, which is one that I highly recommend, or you can use an account with HostGator. So let's go ahead and go over to my web browser and we'll compare the two. Now, if you're really into saving money from the very beginning, you're going to want to consider getting an account from HostGator. Be careful with the word unlimited here. That unlimited is not necessarily true. Okay, you are always going to be limited to the disk space and the bandwidth, because especially if you're on a shared account, you cannot just upload everything you want. So just be careful with that word. I wanted to point that out. So let's take a look at the web hosting plans that are offered by HostGator. Now you can look at the web hosting plans and see here that if you just want to host a single domain, you can get a plan for as low as $5.56 a month. The longer you get into a contract, the cheaper per month it is. Okay, if you want to go monthly, $7.16. So again, if money is an issue currently, just get a basic plan. I personally like an unlimited domain plan. That way, in case I don't have initially, I don't want to just be limited to that one domain. If I buy a few and I start getting the hang of this, this is exactly where I want to be. And you can get, you know, $7.96 a month. You can have unlimited domains. And then you can go up as far as a business plan, and it just depends on some of the technicalities here as far as having a private SSL, which is a security certificate on your hosting account. It just makes things a little bit more secure. And also a toll-free number here would be something that your business may need or can have to come in handy. So it just really depends on you. A reseller account is also a good option because you can start reselling your disk space on your hosting account to your clients. So for $60 a month here, okay, if I get 2 clients that are paying me $20 a month in hosting, then that's going to significantly lower my hosting fees, right? I'm just passing the cost of my hosting down to my clients. Okay, so you're basically able to start your own web hosting company if you have a reseller account. So it just really depends on what you want to do. The copper plan here is only $27.96 a month, and that offers you a reseller account. So very good. You want to check the bandwidth, and you always want to be in contact with support and let them know if you start getting many clients using your reseller account, you may have to upgrade your hosting. So you're going to want to keep in touch with support so that they can help you out. And they will. For the most part, they're pretty good. HostGator would be my #1 option if I'm just starting out. Now, once you start getting seasoned and you really want to upgrade your hosting, then you can start moving on to some more expensive platforms like the cloud, the VPS hosting, or some dedicated servers. Now you can see that the cost rises significantly, but if you are at the point to where your business is going great, your website is making you money, you're going to want to make sure you have a hosting account that is really solid. Okay, so that is when you make the move over to Liquid Web. So again, the cost is going to be a lot higher, but the service quality and the hosting quality is going to be really, really solid. So that's what you want to do when you set up your hosting. Now, I'm going to actually go into my hosting account, my reseller account, and I'll show you how to set up an actual hosting plan through a reseller account. So let me head over to my hosting account, and this is my hosting account with Liquid Web. So you can see that I have a bunch of different options here. I hardly use any of them. I just basically want to create a new account. And I'm creating that new account to use with my new domain name that I purchased, which was Online Marketing Video Tutorials. Remember? Actually, I'm sorry. It's Online Marketing Tutorial Videos. And I'm actually kind of glad I just kind of goofed that up, because you're going to want to be real careful when you purchase your domain and that you match it up exactly when you set up your hosting account. Okay? If you tell HostGator that you have a domain name and it is incorrect, it's never going to work for you, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. So let me go ahead and put in my domain name here, online marketing tutorial videos.com. Now, by default, it's going to create a username for me. And what I will do is create a password for my hosting account. And you can use the password generator here. You can really use any password you like. You should be putting a really good password in there so that it's very secure. Okay, so I have all that top area filled out. Now what I need to do is choose a package. Now with my reseller account, I have one package that I've created. Now you can set up as many packages, there's different types that you want. Just like HostGator has the different packages here, you can set up these different packages yourself. Okay, so I have one package that I set up, my C panel, which is my control panel. I leave everything else the default. I can choose to make this account a reseller if I wanted to, but I'm not. Okay. We're going to talk about name servers in just a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and just copy the name servers, okay, as a reminder, and I'll talk about that in just a bit. But I wanted to note to you that this is very important, this name server area, okay, so just keep that in mind. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the create button, and now my hosting account is starting to be created. Just like that, in my reseller hosting account, I have Liquid Web creating my new hosting account for me. All right, so my account has been created. All right. These details here are very important. Now, I'm going to probably have to block these off for you because it does include my password. But I will show you as best as I can exactly all the information, because remember, setting up our FTP is really important. So I need the info off of this area right here to set up my file transfer protocol software. All right, so I'll refer to this information. If you're getting blocked out on my password, it's because it's just something I had to do. Right, so that's pretty much it. My server, all of this other information I really don't even pay attention to. Of course, we can get into techie detail about what everything is, but all I know is that my server is now set up and it's ready to go. All right, so thanks for watching this video. In the next video, we're going to get into name servers, and then we'll install our FTP programs, set it up, and process files and get that all squared away. So thanks for watching this video. In this video, we're going to briefly talk about name servers. Now, there's not a whole lot to this topic here. We're going to cover it really quick, and basically what we're doing is, again, trying to tie this all together. So we have our domain name. We have FTP, which is going to be the bridge to send the files over to our hosting account, right? But then we have name servers, and name servers are a part of our web hosting account. If you noticed in our last video, I showed you what the name servers were very briefly, as I was creating my hosting account, right? So you can see that these were the name servers right here that were part of my hosting account. So to use just a very figurative definition of what a name server is, we're just going to define it as basically phone numbers to your web hosting account. Okay, it's basically the phone number bridge between your domain and calling the web hosting so that they can call and connect each other. All right, that's how we're going to define it just for the sake of this series. We're going to call it phone numbers. So those two items here, NS1 vrewebhost.com and NS2, that's like the calling number to the hosting account. Without having these digits here, your domain is not going to be able to hook up to your hosting. All right, so how do we set that up? Well, let's go over to Namecheap, where I purchased, this is where I purchased my URL, online marketing tutorial videos. So what I need to do is in the first area here, I'm going to specify a custom DNS server, your own DNS server, because I'm using my own hosting account. I need to put in there ns1.vrewebhost. In the second one, I will put in ns2 vrewebhost. And the reason is because remember, I got all my hosting details. This is all my account information here. It simply states right in here the name servers that I need to use. So in order for my domain or URL to call this hosting account, I need to have the appropriate name servers in there. So I'm going to hit Save Changes. Now, this can sometimes take some hours to maybe even 24 hours to propagate. The propagation process is that Namecheap now has a new phone number. So it's just like setting up a new service. Sometimes it takes a few hours for that service to actually get set up and started. Although you put those name servers in there, it may not be ready for a few hours. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be checking on my name servers. We'll get our FTP program ready to log into my server, get that all set up, and then I'll show you whether or not my name servers have been set up, propagated, and ready to go. All right, and during the FTP setup process and transferring of files, we'll see if that will then take my website online. All right, so that's a really brief video on name servers and how they work. Remember, you just need to change them out inside of your domain, the domain buying area, or the place where you purchased your domain. That is where you're going to edit your name servers, and you get your name servers from your hosting account details, and that's what I had here from Liquid Web. Okay, that should all make sense. Very simple. It's just a couple of lines that you have to add in there, and once you do it once, you're pretty much done. So in the next video, we'll talk about some other things and continue working with getting our online business set up. In this video, I am going to go back to the FTP programs that we had talked about. I'm not necessarily going to show you the download and install of these programs, but I do want to show you the setup of how these programs get put together and the information that you're going to need to have handy so that you can get these programs up and running. Now remember, we had FileZilla, which is you can download this, install it. You know, you just go through the process of hitting the download button and then going ahead and downloading this to your computer. Okay, so we can get that going, but I've already downloaded it. I already have it on my computer, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop this process right now. The other one is an add-on for Firefox. So if you add this extension to Firefox, what it does is it places it right in your tools area. Let me go ahead and move this down a bit for you. You can see in my browser I have a tools section, and then I go to web developer, and Fire FTP just shows up right here. So I click on that, and immediately it fires up my FTP program. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get this set up on both Fire FTP and FileZilla. Let's go ahead and head over to Fire FTP. This is really easy to set up. What I'm going to need are my server details, which are located right here. So I have those handy. What I'm going to do is just simply click on this drop down area and click create an account. Here I am going to put online marketing video tutorials. Actually, it's tutorial videos. And you can actually name it whatever you like. I just like naming it the name of the domain. I'm going to go ahead and put my host in there. Now my host is the IP address that you get right here off of your server details. That's the host that I'm going to be using. Then I need a login. So I'm going to go ahead and put my username here. And I'm going to put a password that I set up. And that's going to be pretty much it. I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to click connect. Once I hit connect, you can see that now I have logged into my server side. This on the left side is everything that's on my own system, on my desktop. Everything that I have is included right here. You can see my desktop items and different items that I have. But this side is my server side. So if I open up the public HTML, you can see there is nothing included on this page. Okay, on this server. This is an empty server. So I have been able to log into my FTP using my server details, and now I can log in to my server. So if I go over to online marketing tutorialvideos.com, I now have a blank domain. I have nothing in it but this CGI bin. And it's the same thing you see right here. Okay? So that was pretty easy to do, right? Now I have that connection, that bridge to send my files over using Fire FTP. So with FileZilla, the process is pretty much the same. There's a little bit of a difference as far as putting in your details, but you do need your hosting details. So we'll go ahead and hit this button right here in the left corner. We're going to hit New Site. We're going to make sure that this says File Transfer Protocol. And then for the encryption, we'll go ahead and just use plain FTP. All right, the login type, we're going to ask for a password. For the user, we'll go ahead and put our username from our hosting account. Paste that right in there. Actually, here we're going to put normal. Login type is going to be normal. So we'll have our user, we'll have our password. Let me go ahead and type in the hosting password, and we'll go ahead and click connect. Oh, you have to enter a host name. I forgot about the host name. For host name, we'll go ahead and put in our domain name. Okay, onlinemarketingtutorials.com, click connect, and there we are. We have now connected to our server. You can see on the right side here, there's our CGI bin, and that's all that is currently on our server. This left side is what's on my hard drive. Okay, so we have our desktop, we have things that I have on my computer, and those are all located right here on the left-hand side. So now we can start putting files over to our server using our file transfer protocol. All right, so now we're set up. We're going to go over a few more things in the next video, and that should pretty much wrap up our basic online marketing tutorial videos. Thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to cover the final process here of showing you how to transfer some files over to your domain using that bridge, that FTP bridge that we had talked about previously. In the previous video, we got it all set up. We put in our hosting details, and we took care of all that. So this video is going to work or be a little bit quicker than I had initially anticipated, because I was going to cover these items while I was covering the whole FTP process. But I kind of jumped the gun because I think it went really well with downloading our programs and getting those all installed. So what we did previously is we logged in to our FTP program by putting in our info from our hosting provider. We used this detail items here, and while I'm talking about this, I just want to talk about being organized. You're going to want to make sure that you have everything organized from the beginning to the end. I just use a simple notepad. I keep everything tracked here, my name servers, all my server details. I'll put my URL, my password, everything here on this notepad so that I have this working copy. I'll then either put this notepad on a jump drive, I'll put it on a cloud hosting like Dropbox or Amazon S3, just so I can have these details handy whenever I need them. Okay, so we showed you in the last video how to connect to an FTP server, but what this video is going to be about is basically transferring files. Okay, it's the last step in finally getting your bridge to carry those files over to your server and having your domain have actually something on it, right? That's the whole purpose of going through this whole workshop. So let's head on over to Fire FTP, and like I've told you before, this is the FTP software that I choose to be the best. I mean, you can use FileZilla. I like using this one. It's super, super easy. So what I've done is I've connected to my server, and you can see here that there is nothing there, right? If I go to my URL, online marketing tutorial videos, and I refresh it, you see there's absolutely nothing there, right? So there's a couple ways to get something on your server side. The easy way is to just drag something. So I just grabbed an image off my desktop and I dragged it, and I'm just going to let it go right here on my server side. You see that? That image is already there on my server. So let me go to my URL. If I refresh it in my browser, there it is. Let me click on it. That's what I just uploaded to my server. Now it's just an image, so there's really not a whole lot going on there. And you'll notice that the path is my domain name /b3.png. Now the reason why this gets a / and it gets put at the end here is because my domain is looking for an index file. The index file is the main file that will work in conjunction with my domain here. Okay? Everything else just gets put into a / and the file will be named. If I put another file, let me see if I can find something here that I can drag. Let me go ahead and drag a flyer here. Okay, this is a PDF that I just dragged over. It's taken a little bit more time to load up, and we'll see in just a second how that works. Let me go to my URL, I'll refresh it, and you can see that now I have a PDF. So let me click on that, and there the PDF opens up. Now look at my URL, /realspeedflyer.pdf, okay? So your domain is always going to be looking for an index file to showcase on the very front. So that brings me to showing you how to use these green arrows here. What I've done is I've opened up a website, and all I'm going to do is highlight everything in this folder, everything contained in this folder. This is a complete website. You can see that it has an index file, it has a style sheet, it has graphics, it has a whole bunch of things that are needed for a regular website, an image folder. So I'm going to hit this green arrow right here, and that is going to start putting everything on my server side. Now we have an index file this time, so the index file is going to be read first, and this online marketing tutorial videos.com will then display the index file. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit more time because there's quite a few files that are getting put up, but it doesn't take a whole lot of time. It shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to get one basic HTML website over and active. So you can see by now it's already there. Let me go back to my URL. Here it is. Let me refresh it. And you see that now my domain name is displaying the index.html file. And I have a full working website. Everything is all connected here. Now this isn't the website that I'm going to use for this domain. I just wanted to show it to you as an example. So you can see that everything is all laid out. And the way this is all laid out is that it has a style sheet that puts everything in order. Otherwise it'd just be a big scrambled mess. So that's pretty much it as far as transferring files over. And let's just say you have a file that you've transferred over, but it just was the wrong file, or you don't want it there. You can highlight all of your files. I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard, click OK, and now through FTP I can delete any file that is on my server. Let me go back to my URL and refresh. Let me go back to the very beginning here. Let me hit online marketing video, tutorial videos, and I have a fresh server again. All right, so that's going to basically conclude our FTP process setup and everything involved here. So now that you've gone through these online marketing basics, you now know how to buy a domain, how to set up your FTP, how to get your web hosting, how to make sure the name servers or phone numbers from your domain are calling your web hosting, and getting that FTP to display all the files on your website. All right? If you would like to find out more about building an HTML website, some tools that I use just to build a simple WordPress website, you're going to want to check out some of my other courses that go step by step in all of these different nuances of online marketing. This is just the beginning here. Now, once you learn how to do these items, it's going to be a piece of cake from here on out. It's going to be all of this will be taken care of within an hour once you're up and running. So use these videos as reference. Use them step by step. If you feel that there's anything that I've kind of gone over too fast or you'd like more clarification on, please let our support group know, and we can add more courses or videos to the members area. We hope that you've enjoyed the online marketing tutorial videos part 1, and I really hope that you are interested in our further videos, that you can advance your knowledge and get your online marketing business up and running as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and thanks for taking part of our online marketing tutorial videos course. Hello, I want to welcome you to the online marketing tutorial videos part 2. In this set of videos and this course, we go a little bit further into the setup of your website, some things that you should know about regarding cPanel, which is your control panel of your hosting account. So we just wanted to take things a little bit further, just have you have a better understanding of more of a website setup and some of the things that you can do really quick and easy inside of cPanel to build out a really good looking website. So in this video, we are going to take a look at your cPanel and just kind of go through some of the different options that are involved in cPanel. So let's head over to our website. All right, so what I'm going to do in order to access my cPanel, I simply just need to put a / and type in cPanel on the end of my URL. Once I have my URL set up for looking for the cPanel, I just need to put in my username and password. My username and password are found with all of my server details. If you watched my last video set or took the last course on online marketing tutorial videos, then you know that I set up my server and I had these username and password details when I set up my server. So let me go ahead and click OK. Now I have my RoboForm password trying to pop up there. So that's what that was. But what I have here is my server for online marketing tutorials. And you can see here that's my main domain. Okay, sorry about that. Now inside of here, I can do a number of different things. Okay, so let's just go. One thing that I never realized for a long time was the fact that you can move these things around. They're drag and drop. So if you find yourself working in cPanel and you're using your file manager, or you're checking your web stats, whatever the case may be, you can move these things around and it'll be very helpful. But the cPanel is basically your control panel for your website. It contains all your information. It allows you to manipulate, to set up emails, so you can have your email accounts here. You can log into your webmail, your email forwarders. You have your stats. There's video tutorials here on how to use everything. There's add-on domains. There's database setup, and we're going to cover a lot of these things in the next few videos. But I just wanted to give you a different look. You can also switch the theme. Depending on your server, we have in our hosting account a couple of different themes to just give a different look to your cPanel. So your cPanel may look like this, or it may look like the X3, which is the default in my hosting account. So I don't want you to freak out. They contain the exact same specifications, and everything is the same. They just give it a different look. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to introduce cPanel to you and just get you excited, because at the end of the online marketing tutorial video course part 2, you're going to be able to do so much more than in part 1, and hopefully you'll be real comfortable with really taking your business to a new level. So I look forward to seeing you in the next videos. In this video, we're going to talk about creating an email address. Now that you have your website, you have it hosted, you may want an email address for your particular website. Now, using a Yahoo or a Gmail account can come across as unprofessional when trying to build a solid business. So the best way to look professional and really keep your brand is to create an email using your website URL in the email address. So we're going to talk about creating email and then accessing your webmail through your either online or through your cPanel, however you choose to do so. So let's go ahead and head over to cPanel. We'll go ahead and create an email. So inside of cPanel, you can see that here I have email accounts. I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. Now what I'm going to do is create an email called info@onlinemarketingtutorialvideos.com. I'll put in a little password so that it's password protected. I will click unlimited so that I can have an unlimited email account, and I'll go ahead and create my account. And that's it. That's as simple as it is. Now I have an email called info@onlinemarketingtutorialvideos.com. I'm also, while I'm here, going to click a support email. Now, support email will allow me to send this out, use my contact form, that it goes right to my support email. In case there's anything wrong with any of my videos or my business, it's a very common email to send to support, and then you have your professional URL extension right here. So let me go ahead and create that account. All right, so I have a couple of emails now set up for my business. So what I can do here through my cPanel, I can hit the More button and then access the webmail. Now webmail will allow me to, let me go ahead and confirm my security exception here. Webmail will allow me to view my email online at any time. I can log into my cPanel, I can access my webmail, and I can simply use any one of these, Squirrel Mail, Roundcube, or Horde. I can go ahead and read mail using Horde. So let me click on that. Now inside of here, you'll see I have my inbox, I've got my calendar, my mail, my address book. I can make a new content. This is where I will access my email. Now, let's just say, for example, you don't want to log in to cPanel every time to access your mail. All you have to do is type in your URL in your browser /webmail, hit enter, and that should prompt you with your username and your password. In this case, my username will be my email address. Click OK, and there you go. I've got a lot of RoboForm stuff going on because it wants to save all of my emails and all my passwords. So just like that, I've logged into my webmail, and I can go ahead and access it at any time through any web browser. Okay, pretty cool, right? Now, let's just say I have a main email that I always check, and I do this a lot with my main email. Usually it goes to support@davidcisneros.com. All of my support emails go there. So when I build new websites, I simply set up a forwarding option so that any support emails that I get sent to this email address will automatically forward to my main email. So to do this, I basically type in the email address here that I want to forward to. I add my forwarder, and it's all done. So I can have this sent directly to davidcisneros.com. I can add the forwarder, and just like that, I have my email forwarded to my main account. Okay, so let me go to forwarding options. Now you can see that if I no longer want this to happen, I very simply click delete, delete the forwarder, and now it's gone. Okay, so now I have this standalone email. Now, if you use a setup like Outlook Express or Outlook, or you want to configure an additional, there's a ton of them out there where you access your email through a particular software. You would go here to configure your mail client, and this will give you all the details that you need as far as ports and POP3s and outgoing servers and all the setup that you would need. Now, I'm not going to go through a detailed explanation of how this works because it really depends on which software you're using to access your emails. And it also depends on whether you're using a secure connection or a non-secure connection. So it's really hard for me to have have a video and cover all that in detail. But that being said, we've created an email address. You now know how to access your webmail, and those are two essential parts of having an online business. You got to have a good branded email. So thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one. In this video, we're going to talk about just basically about some cPanel logs that you can use just to find out some interesting stats and details. So we're going to cover just a few. We're going to cover the AW stats, which kind of gives you an idea of how much traffic your website's getting. There's a security panel that you might want to be interested in. There's a latest visitors tab that you can check out just to see what type of traffic that you're getting at your website. That's all very important, very relevant. So let's head over to cPanel. We'll go ahead and look first of all at our latest visitors tab here. It's right here in the logs area, and again, you can move these around. If these are something that you use all the time, you can move it to the very top. Let's check out the latest visitors, and this is the URL that we're going to view, the domain. And you can see who your latest visitors are, where they're visiting, and what type of traffic you're getting. We also have the AW stats here. Now, there's not a bunch of stats regarding this particular website yet because I don't even have a website actually on the domain yet. But this is where I'll go just to see how many visitors my website is getting. We've got error logs here. We've got the Webalizer tab is also another one that has some great traffic stats that we can check out. And I believe that's it. We did want to check out the security tab here. So we do have some security areas, and if you ever need to password protect some files, this is where you would do it. You can set up a password protect directory. So let's go ahead and go inside of this area. And there's a video tutorial that'll give you exact details on how to get this all set up inside of your cPanel. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So you can go ahead and check that out. But inside of this area, it would require a username and password for anybody that wants to access that part of your site. So that's just adding a layer of protection that you can use to protect anything that you have in your site. Maybe it's some videos that you have, maybe they're just files that you have on your server, things of that nature that you just want to put some extra protection on. Okay? So inside of cPanel, there's a wealth of information. Just wanted to touch briefly upon a few of them. Mostly your stats, and you can kind of tell where your traffic's coming from and whether or not that's going to turn into dollars with your online marketing business that you're creating. All right, so that's pretty much the end of this video. We'll talk about the password protection folder in more detail in the next video, and we'll continue on until we have a website and everything active on our site, on our URL. Take care. In this video, we're going to go more in depth as far as the password protect folder. Password protect folder is a pretty cool feature inside of cPanel because you can essentially sell a product, protect it inside of cPanel, and then give users access once you set up the user access username and password, if that makes sense. You can give people access through having them log in using the username and password, and I'll show you how this all works in just a second. Let me head over to cPanel First of all, I do need to protect a folder. So let's just say, for example, I have a folder here that I want to drag over to my server, and I'm going to protect this particular folder here from anybody trying to access. It's this folder here called banner issues. Matter of fact, let me rename it, and we're going to put a little hyphen in there just to clear up any issues. So it's called banner issues. Let's just say that was the folder that I had my product in, and I want to protect this folder from being accessed by anybody. So let's head on over to cPanel, and we'll go to the password protect directory area. Now what I want to do is enter the name for the protected directory, and that directory, actually we want to go back here. Sorry, I have to click on banner issues because this is the folder. This is the folder that I want to protect, right? So I got to make sure that I click on it in this area right in here. So I click on banner issues. Now this is the one I want to protect. Now I can name it whatever I want. So let's call it product. Okay? And if this was my product, I can name it whatever I want. That's just the name for the protected directory. Let me hit save. Okay? So now you need to have access, user access, to access that folder. The path, banner issues, okay? Because that is the folder that I protected, right? I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and what happens is I get prompted for a username and password. Pretty cool, right? So only those that have a username and password have access to what's inside the folder. So that's a really easy way for me to protect a folder and sell my product. That would be my download link right there, okay? And if they don't have the right username and password, this is what they're going to see, authorization required, okay? So what I need to do is I need to go back, okay? This is the product. I need to create a user. So if I created a user, let's say this was a product and I wanted to protect it by putting product owner as my user, and then I've just put an easy little password in here. Okay, you could use your password generator if you like, but I just put something easy, and we're going to call it product owner, or we'll call it download. Download product. We can add that user, okay? So now only people that have this username and password can access that folder. Now you can email that to your customers and they'll be able to access it. Okay, now they're going to access it by going to this URL here. Let me hit enter so I get the pop-up. So let's go ahead and put that in there, and then we'll put our password and hit OK. And now that gives me access to all the downloads. Pretty cool, right? That's how you password protect a folder, and you can put anything inside of it, and you can allow only certain users to have access to that folder. That is a really cool feature in cPanel that almost works like a download page without you ever having to set up anything. You pretty much have your download page all ready to go. It has all the files inside of the folder. Makes things really easy. All right, thanks for watching this video. In the next video, we'll talk about setting up a database, creating a website, creating some redirect links, and that'll wrap up this course. And by now, you should really start getting the hang of using your cPanel, what is inside of it, I mean, it literally took me months to figure out all of these little finite details inside of cPanel. Well, I hope you're getting a shortcut here and hope this is helping you out. Thanks for watching. In this video, we're going to talk about creating a MySQL database. Now, at first, when I first started hearing about creating a database, it just sounded really overwhelming to me. Now, don't let that be the case here. It's not that big of a deal. There are certain cases where you will need to create a database. There may be a software that you purchase that you need to create a database. If you do a really secure install of WordPress, you're going to need to create a database. Now, it's really easy to do. Just follow my lead here. I'll show you exactly what needs to happen. So let's go back to our cPanel here. We're going to scroll down and we are going to look at the MySQL databases. We'll basically click on that. All we need to do is name our database. So let's just, you can create this or call it whatever you like. So I'll just call off tutorial and I will create my database. That's it. That's all I've done is create the database. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the details and I'm going to add them to my spreadsheet, to my little text file here. And I'll call it my database. And I just make a little note here, database name. Okay, and then I'm going to need a database user. So we'll go ahead and do that now. So let me hit go back. Because what I need to do is, now that I have a database, I'm going to need a user associated with that database. So I could name it whatever I want. You could get really detailed with the path, protecting your database, and you should. I am just, for the sake of this video, just doing something very basic. You could put a really good password in there using the password generator, and I'm going to create a user. All right. So this now is my database user. Back to my text file, and now we have the user. All right. You might want to make note of your password as well. You don't want to forget your database password, and that was the password that I put in here for my user. Now, the last part of this was something that I used to skip all the time, but it's very important. You need to add the user to your database. So we have our user here, David C. We have our database, and we are going to hit the add button. Now, when I add this user to my database, I am going to click all privileges. I want to have my user to have all privileges possible. Okay? Go ahead and hit the make changes button, and that's it. I now have a fully functional database just waiting to be used. I'll probably use it in this course by adding WordPress to my domain and then letting WordPress use my database to have all the information stored and kept in order with my database. So we've created a MySQL database, and it's, guys, under 5 minutes. All right, this isn't hard to do. I'll show you the practical use of the database a little bit later when we start to build out our website. But for now, just know that we have a database. I put my information right here, my name and my user, and that's pretty much all I need. Make sure I save my notepad and I have something that I can always refer back to. All right, thanks for watching this video. In future videos, we'll start building out our website, and we'll continue on with building our online business. In this video, we're going to focus on creating a website inside of cPanel. Okay, now this isn't the most traditional way of creating a website, and we're going to be using a platform called WordPress. But in a second, I'm going to show you that the availability of building out your website inside of cPanel is really straightforward and pretty easy. Now there's a few pieces of software inside of cPanel that are called Fantastic. This is actually supposed to say Fantastico and Softaculous. Either one of these will build out WordPress. I'm going to use Fantastico in this demonstration and just show you how easy it is to just get this all built and ready for action. Now, the thing is that I'm going to not build this website on the main URL. I'm going to put it in a directory. So it's going to be a little bit different, but I just wanted to show you how this all works. You can see down here in software and services, I have a happy face called Fantastico Deluxe. On the left-hand side here, it says WordPress. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to click New Installation. And then you can start filling out all of your information here for your access data. This would be your username, your password. You can change out your site name. And you definitely want to change out your admin email and put in all the appropriate information here. And the process here is really straightforward. It will be, you hit the install WordPress button, and just like that you will have WordPress installed on your site. It's pretty cool. And let me show you another option for installing. This is Softaculous. So let's go ahead and click on Softaculous. Now this is one of the better ways, and that's why this is the one I'm going to show you. I'm going to click on Install WordPress. And what we're going to do here is we're going to just look at what our options are. Here's the domain. We have our directory. We're going to put this in, it's actually going to create a directory called WP. So that's okay. The database name, we have our site name. We can change this to online marketing tutorial videos. Step, let's put building our online business step by step. All right. So we have our username, our password, and obviously you can change all of these things to fulfill your own needs. Now, admin and pass, I'm just going to leave that for the sake of putting this all together. Now, it's really cool. You can select your own theme here. So we can select this one if that's what we want. It looks like we're ready to go here. So down here, there's an install button. Let's go ahead and hit install. And just like that, Softaculous is now installing WordPress on our website. We can go here. I can refresh and connect to our server to see what is going on here. There's our install of WP, and all the files from Softaculous are going there. So let's go ahead to online marketing tutorial videos /WP. If I click on that, I should have a website. And just like that, I have a website fully installed on my domain. Now keep in mind, this is in a directory called WP. I didn't put it on the main site. So if I go to my main site, you can see that there's nothing there. Okay? And I did that on purpose because I am going to show you how to install a full-blown WordPress site from scratch rather than using Softaculous. But you can see just from this that Softaculous will create your website for you in just a few minutes. And this is not a bad looking site. Of course, you have to go in with all of your details, like your admin and your password and all that, and you would start changing out all the different aspects of this website to fulfill your own needs. But building a website inside of cPanel is super easy, and that is why I used Softaculous rather than using Fantastic or any other type of software available. So I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope you can see how easy it is to get everything set up, and you can build a website inside of cPanel using Softaculous. Thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how to download and install WordPress. This is the most secure way of doing it. I'm going to show you where to go to get your WordPress files. I'm going to show you how to use our bridge, our FTP bridge, to get that online. And then I'm going to show you how to use that database that we set up to get that working with our installation of WordPress. Now, this is the most secure way of installing WordPress. So I just wanted to make sure that I put this in the video course. That way you know exactly what to do in order to install WordPress and have it as secure as possible. So let me head over to my browser, and I'm inside my cPanel here, and for now I just need to head over to wordpress.org. That's wordpress.org. Okay. And once you get to wordpress.org, this is where you're going to need to download WordPress. Now you can see the version that is currently the latest version is 4.2.2. So I'm going to hit this button here. I'm going to save that file, and now I have WordPress completely downloaded. And what I'm going to do is just open up this zip file, and I'm going to get this downloaded version of WordPress. Let's go ahead and put this right here on my desktop. It's going to take a little bit to get all the files out of this zip form. I'm going to head over to my web developer tools. I am going to log in to my FTP program. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is get all of the WordPress files that are currently getting pulled out of this folder here. I'm going to grab all of those files and include them and put them right here on my main public HTML path. Okay, this is the main URL of WordPress. So what I'm going to need to do is just go over to my desktop in just a second. So we'll get that going. Let me pause the video because I still have some files that are getting pulled out of this zip file. All right, all the WordPress files have now downloaded to my desktop here, and what I've done on my FTP program is I've opened up the folder. You can see the desktop, and I have a WordPress folder open. All I'm going to do is just highlight all of my files here, hit this green arrow, and all of the files are going to start getting they're all going to be uploaded right to my server. So you can see this. The FTP is my bridge. It's pulling all the files over here to my server side. And in just a minute, I'll be able to go to online marketing tutorial videos, and I should be able to have the steps for installation of WordPress. So again, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while my FTP software puts everything over to my server side. So all the files have been uploaded, and they're all here on my server side. So I can go over to my URL now, and I can refresh the page. And now I go through the admin steps. Okay, so let me go ahead and move this over a little bit. Now the admin steps are very simple. You just need to have the appropriate information that we had already done in a previous video. So let me go ahead and hit continue. These are the items that you're going to need. Your database name, which we already created. Our database username, we did. Our database password, which we have. And our database host, which is just our server, right? So If you want to run more than one WordPress in a single database, then you'd go ahead and use something like this. I never do that. So let's hit the Let's Go button. Now our database name, this is the information that I kept earlier. We'll go ahead and use this information here. So we have our database name. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. We're going to go ahead and put our database user in. Okay, our username, our password, database host, we're just going to keep localhost, and our database prefix, we can leave it as WP. You can change this if you'd like for security reasons. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it as WP, but you can change this, and you can have it whichever you like. Okay, so let me hit submit. I'm going to hit run the install. Now there's a few more things that I'm going to need to add here. That is the site title. So online marketing tutorial videos. Oops. All right. Our username, that's the information that we're going to use inside of WordPress. So again, I'm going back to my little handy notepad, and I'm going to put WordPress user details. So I'll go ahead and put a username in here. So for this, I'll put WP admin, and then for password, go ahead and put a password in there. Our email, I'm going to put support@online marketing tutorial videos. And the allow search engines to index the site, I'm going to leave checked, and I'm going to hit install WordPress. Just like that, WordPress has been installed. They even put sorry to disappoint, because they're saying, like, you know, did you think there was going to be more steps to this? And there isn't. There really isn't. So let's go ahead to the login. Let's put in our username, and we'll put in our password. We'll click the remember me, we'll log in, and that's it. I'm now inside of my brand new secure WordPress site, and you can see here, this is the URL, online marketing tutorial videos, and this is the default theme that WordPress gives us. All right, but just like that, that is the most secure way to install WordPress on your website, okay, on your URL or your domain. So now I have a working website ready to start being edited and changed to my liking, and everything that goes with building an online business. I've done that really simple, really easy, right? So this is just a quick video. The longest part of this whole process, guys, is uploading your files, or downloading WordPress and uploading them to your server. That's going to be the longest part. Everything else, as long as you followed along in this course so far, you should be up and running with a WordPress website ready to go. All right, thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one. In this video, we're going to talk about changing WordPress, how to manipulate your WordPress install by changing the theme, changing the plugins. We're just going to briefly talk about a few of the themes and plugins that are available to you for free that you can use to really add a lot of value to your website. Now, plugins are often overlooked as great ways to help your online business, so you just want to make sure that you keep on top of updating your plugins, maybe updating your theme depending on what type of theme you're using. And it's very, very helpful to use WordPress for whatever you want, basically. I mean, it's a really great system. So let's head back over to our site here. And just as I log into the site, there are some areas here on the left-hand side. This is our sidebar, and these are some areas that we can use to manipulate our site. Here's the plugin area, and then we have our appearance. So the theme is currently the default theme here, which is 2015. Now you can use these default themes like 2014, 2013. All I have to do is simply activate this new theme. And now if I go to my site and refresh, you'll see that I now have a new style theme here all ready to go. And if I click on some of these links, you can see how that all works out. Okay? Now, if I don't want to use one of these themes, what I can do is go to the themes section, and I can search either installed themes that I currently have, or I can add a new theme. If I click add a new theme, you can see that there's some featured themes here. Very cool. And just for the sake of this video, I'll just go ahead and select one, like this one, for example. We'll go ahead and hit the install button. I can activate this theme, and just like that, I'll refresh my site, go to the main URL, and you can see that I have a really nice looking theme. Now, of course, it has to be edited. This is a headline widget. It's not going to work, content and things of that nature. But it's got a real big slider here. Let's go to a sample page. You can see what it looks like. And also, it is responsive. You can see as I bring my browser more narrow, you can see that the theme conforms to my browser window. And that's how it's going to emulate. It emulates it looking like it would on a mobile device, whether it's an iPad or a very narrow cell phone. All right? So, very important to have a mobile-friendly website. And we can go back to our home page, and you can see here that we just have a lot of different options here. When you install a new theme, sometimes, for example, here we have theme settings. Every theme is going to be different. So, for example, if we wanted to choose a logo image, we would just go ahead and find our logo image, upload that to our site, and it should manipulate it. So let me go ahead and find a logo that I could use. We'll go ahead and use a PNG. I don't want one that's too big. We'll go ahead and open that. And that is a big image. But let's go ahead and set our logo. Now we can save our settings. Go back here, and you can see that we have a huge logo image there because that logo should be a little smaller. Okay, but look at the header text. Call me maybe. If I put something like class is in session, let's save our settings. Okay, even our media, if I go to my media, let's see if I can manipulate my image here. Edit more details. Let's see. Doesn't look like I can edit the size. So I'd have to edit the size before I actually upload it. But if I refresh, you can see here it changed to class is in session. But obviously I need to change out that logo because it's too big. But I just wanted to show you briefly how you can edit your theme and your settings. Now, a lot of times when you get a free theme, there's going to be premium upgrades. So that's just part of the deal. If free is only going to get you so far, but a premium update would probably work out a little bit better. So they're trying to get you to buy the upgraded version. So like for example, the responsive menu here, only available in the premium. So if I go to upgrade this, you can see that it's $15 to upgrade to this theme. But nevertheless, you can find really nice looking themes just by, doing some searches. Let's go ahead and find one more. Let's go to a popular section. Here we go. Let's go to this one, the customizer. Let's do an activate, and we'll refresh our window here. So you can see, just like that, online marketing tutorial videos. We can add a menu. I've got some images. Look how nice that looks. And we'll check to see if it's responsive, and sure enough, it's responsive. It's clean looking, and it's ready for you to edit. Okay, so again, here's about customizer. We can go through all the information here. We can look at the menus, and you'll notice that my other theme menu is now gone. Now I have a customize button that I can use, and you can see here that we can customize different areas of our theme. All right, so we have our header area, our design, our layout, so on and so forth. Okay, so every theme is going to be different. Sometimes inside of the settings area, like for example, we currently have a tagline, just another WordPress site. You're going to want to erase any trace of there being a WordPress install on your site just by adding your own information here. Step-by-step tutorials on how to get your online business started. All right, we'll go ahead and save the changes. And you can see here where it says just another WordPress site. That's the area that I just manipulated. And there we go. Now I have my tagline right up here. Okay, so really cool. That's how we change themes. Now what about plugins? Now plugins are just helpful tools that you can use for your site. So for example, let's say we wanted a contact page, and I wanted a form, a contact form that I can use really easy to add all my information to and build out a really nice looking contact form. So I do a search for contact form, and you can see that I get a bunch of different plugins that I can use that will help me with my contact form. Now some of these are the most popular. You can go by the featured. Contact form 7 is one of the most popular. How about the recommended section? Okay, there's a variety of different plugins that are recommended. Let's go back to the popular, and we'll go ahead and install this plugin. Let's activate the plugin, and now you can see that I have a contact area on my toolbar here. So contact form, I can go edit it. Looks like there's a code here that I can put on my page. I'm going to copy that code, and you can see this is what the form is going to look like. Your name, your email, your subject, your message. That's what they're going to be sending to us, right? So let me go ahead and add a new page. We'll call this Contact Us. Let me go ahead and dismiss this. I'll click on the text button, and I'll put my short code right in there. Okay, let me go ahead and center it, and I'm going to hit publish. Now what that's going to do is create a contact page on my site. Now the only problem, it looks like this particular theme doesn't have a menu. Okay, so in order to add a menu, we have to go here to the appearance section and then the menus. All right, so it looks like now we have home, contact us, and sample page. All right, let's create this menu. Main menu is going to be menu 1. We'll save changes. Let's go back to our site. Let's see if we now have a menu. And just like that, you see we have a home page, contact us, and then we have that sample page. So if I hit the contact us, look at that. Just like that, I have a contact form that looks really nice, right? It looks really nice. So, of course, you know, you have to edit your plugins. Like, for example, the settings for your plugin may require you to put in your email, because that's where, you know, you want your contact information to be sent. Okay. So you go through the different areas here, like setting up your mail and everything that's here, right? So it's just showing you exactly what you need to do. It's kind of hard for me to go through all of this information, because in all actuality, I can make a tutorial video for every single one of these things. Some of them have their own tutorial videos, which are really cool. But most of them, they just have documentation that you'd have to read, and then that will allow you to be able to manipulate your forms. So right here where it says your email, I'm assuming you would be putting your email right in there, and it will send the contact information right to your email. But that's just one plugin, guys. There's a ton of plugins that you can use. For example, play video. Let's just say you have a video embed, thumbnail generator. You can look at some of these plugins as well to see exactly what they do. Looks like this one makes little thumbnails of videos. So since I have an online marketing tutorial video site, this would probably be a good plugin for me to use. And you can look at some of the stars here. There's 27 5 stars, a few 1 stars, probably somebody that got mad. But you can go through these and figure out which plugin is going to be the best for you. So there's media players. There's, again, go through all of these plugins to see which ones are the best for your business. All right. I hope this video was helpful. I think you learned a little bit about how to change the theme, change some plugins, and that pretty much wraps up our course here on putting a website together. We have a few things that we're going to wrap up, and of course I'll be adding some videos later of anything that I see, but pretty nice looking website here. And it just took me a hosting account, a domain name, and an installation of WordPress, and I'm up and running. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in other videos. In this video, I'm going to briefly cover how to create a redirect link inside of cPanel. Now, a redirect link is useful if you are promoting products, and just in case, you know, the product owner decides to take their product off the shelf, then you're going to be stuck with a link that's going nowhere. So a lot of times, instead of using an affiliate link, we can use a redirect link. That way we can change those links in the future. So what we do here is just set up a temporary link. Now this is the way I do it. You can do it different. We can choose the URL that we're going to be linking to. I'm going to call this prize. And I am going to link it to a JVZoo affiliate link. So you can see that that affiliate link there will be linked to a JVZoo product. And I like to select only redirect with www. You can choose to make it a wildcard or not. Right here it tells you that the wildcard will redirect all of the files in a directory to the same file name in the redirected directory. So I like to click wildcard redirect, and we'll click add. Now you can see that this link here will now go to this link right here. Okay, so let me just show you what that is. Go ahead and hit that in the box there, and that's the product there that we're going to be linking to. So we'll go back and hit, I believe it was this one. And you can see that it's linked directly over after I inserted my link into my browser window. It just hurried up. It's within a second, I mean, not even a second, less than a second, it'll redirect right to your offer. So anytime in the future that you want to link to a particular offer or to a different website, you can put redirect links in there, and that helps clean things up. A lot of times the redirecting link will be a long link from ClickBank or some type of affiliate product, and it just looks ugly. So instead of doing that, we can set up redirects that look clean and they look professional, and that's the way it works. So, all right, I hope this video was helpful in setting up a redirect link. In this video, we're going to talk about backing up your website, and we're going to do that via cPanel. Now, backing it up via cPanel is only one way to back up your site. There are alternatives like different plugins that you can use to back up your entire site. But we're going to head over to cPanel, and I'm going to show you exactly where to go just to back up your site. So let me go ahead and scroll down here, and we're looking for the backup. I may have overlooked it. Right here, your backup wizard. Go ahead and click on that. This feature allows you to download a zipped copy of your entire site. All right, so you click the backup button here. What we're going to do is a full backup. Here's our backup destination. Here's the email address that we're going to notify. You can change that, obviously. And then what we're going to do is generate our backup. So after the full backup of your account is completed, you're going to get an email, and it's going to be sent to whichever email that you tell the system to send it to. All right? Pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So you see there, we have a backup right there in progress, and I'm going to be emailed and notified as soon as that backup has been completed. Okay? So really cool feature here. This is just a cPanel backup. So a full backup creates an archive of your website's files. You can use this to move your files to a new server. So when we talked about upgrading servers or doing things like that, that's an easy way for you to zip up everything and then install it in your new server. All right, so we have our backup wizard. We have, again, let me go, I'm losing my spot because I've been moving around things here. We have our backups right here. Let's see if that's been completed yet. And you can see that it's already been completed. So here's my file. Go ahead and click download, and just like that, I have a completed backup of my entire website coming to me right here in zip form. And there it is. There's my entire site, the public HTML, any plugins, anything that I've done with WordPress, everything is inside of this one file. So pretty simple to do a backup. Make sure you back up your site pretty often. There are also plugins that you can use that will help with this process, but this is an easy way using cPanel to back up your site.